check 1, 2. It's O to the MID. Everywhere I go, I don't need ID. They don't know who I be. But I'm just not your average MC.
It's true life music.
Yeah, pretty fella. About me, you what's in Yeah. Bullen taayee si demoкраcy. Bullen abuse demoкраcy. Moi sunu dole si biir réew mi. Samé votas carte Gambia ci réew mi. Olu ma leen di ñaan ku nekk gëna dem foot rek si jama. Buñu xeex buñu xulo ñun sama suñu jama. Politique jaay musta du jaay am fit election baa ngi ñëw. Yow kenn bu fitti.
In my own words, Bullen Taaye Si Democracy, I think is a very apt caption and title. For 22 years, we lived under a dictatorship that pretended to be a democracy, and the people were tired, and they gave up. And when we gave up, tyranny and dictatorship reigned for 22 years.
You know, this project actually has been real to me because, you know, the part with the voter apathy, I myself, I felt a lot of that. You know, I've felt the need to not vote for quite a while. You know what I mean? I think during the whole period of dictatorship, I don't think I voted for a lot of the times because I just felt like, you know what, we all know what's gonna happen. It's gonna, you know. But obviously, because it was the anger, you know what I mean? It was the anger at the way things were going. Yes, we were fighting our own fight, nation in pain. It was during the times when there was a law that was being passed, or, you know, sort of like a warning that no one should say this country is hard.
Of rights enshrined in the Gambia's constitution under Chapter 4 grants all citizens aged 18 and older the right to take part in the conduct of public affairs directly or through freely chosen representatives, as well as to vote and stand for elections for public office.
Képp ko xamné juddoo nga ci réew mi war nga am sañ-sañ doon ko xamné doon dara ci réew mi parce que juddoo ci réew mi rek doyut but also lan nga def ci réew mi ba nga fi nga juddoo.
There is a big group of people who believe elections do not really make a difference in their lives.
Citizenry must never be tired. They must always be informed. They must always be active. They must participate. And every citizen must participate. Every demography. It should be inclusive. That means young people, women, men, and people who are called disabled or hard of hearing, amongst other things. It is important that all views are heard.
If you look at the political parties, persons with disabilities are not being given chance to contest.
Elections are important in any country that practices representative democracy.
Most of these executives of political parties, you'll find very few or no persons with disability who can at least represent their communities.
Xale yi mag yi ndaw yi lafa yi yépp ñu ngi wax about this election dafa crucial trop loolu la benn bindkat wax tamit mu ne reality is the combination of two contradictory forces but when the one surpasses the other, that's the explosive stage. So léegi nan déglu koo xam ne mu ñu wax dëgga nit koo xam ne tamit mu la wax ne si juróom at bi mun naa jox liggéey mun naa sampa ay nangami lopitaan ak nangami school kooku tamel waxam bi nga xoolaat ko bu baax ndax mu la wax ne ndax mun na ko ndax munu ko ndax mun ko waree pour am sa carte.
Elections have consequences.
nga war a xam ne man réew mi laa fi am te mënuma dëkk feneen kon réew moom daf la war a yitteel ba waruloo xa nekk koo xam ne da ngay nekk ëmb bu ñuy yóbbu waale rek soo élection jotee nga ne man dama tayala dem sànni ji élection non déedéet.
You are given the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. We call it your choice. And whatever happens, he wins or he loses, or she wins or she loses. That is it, because that's your choice. You have chosen to vote for and to go in for.
Elections are decided by people who go out and vote. Not voting is giving up your voice.
Because democracy is about the convergence of different ideas. Ideas sometimes, are not popular or minor ideas, but it's important that every voice counts. Even though the majority voice prevails, but that doesn't mean that you silence the voice of the minority. So it's very, very important. Of course, we all have to talk about religion, Christians and Muslims alike. We are 95% Muslim, but also the voice of Christians, or even those who are not into religion, matter. For me, that is very important, and that's why it's important to build a democratic culture. And you cannot be tired, because this is a long time, it's a marathon, and you have to instill the culture, and it's like a tree that you grow and nurture and build for generations of Gambians to enjoy.
Since I'm a business student, I would just see the country as a company. When it makes profit, we are the ones that enjoy it. And when it makes losses, we are the ones that suffers. So this company called the Gambia is our business. And we only prove it by voting.
BULLEN TAAYE SI DEMOCRACY.
Democracy for you and me.
Democracy must you dollar free.
Decision without voting. You only prove that this company, the Gambia, is ours by voting. That is why I like the part where Ms. Jobi said, "Sani kata moy lu ñu war," because it proves that we care about our country. We love the country, and we want to decide for what happens in our country. We want to decide who takes care of this country.
Voting gives a citizen an opportunity to be part of the decision-making that affects his or her life and the future of our country. If you don't vote, others will make that decision for you.
benn kàddoo booy laago mun naa daane nit waaw kon ñooñu dañ leen war a bàyyi loo xel ndax yàlla ñooñu leen dénk dañ leen war a bàyyi xel waaye ñoom itam bu ñu reluctant bu ñu tayal jàpp ne seen kàddu bi amul solo fekk ne yow sa benn kàddu boobu rek mën naa daane nit.
Elections allow ordinary citizens to decide who will make decisions on important issues on their behalf.
Because they have the belief that having disability doesn't mean that you cannot participate in any decision making, you cannot participate in any development. That's the wrong concept people have here in the Gambia.
To make sure the person who will represent the people in those seats will be somebody who have the interest of the minority in head and at heart. So that is why it is very important that minority groups such as young people, such as people with disabilities, participate in all levels of the electoral process, being it post and during elections.
ci ne ku dëkkee ci réew ku ne da nga war a am kàddu ndax comme que su réew mi jariñoo su yokkute amee dafa war a feeñ ci yow su wàññeekoo dafa war a feeñ ci yow moo xam borom kàttan nga ku man nga ku tële nga kon ñi dëkkee réew ñëpp dañoo war a am kàddu ci ni réew di doxee.
looloo tax am na solo lépp loo xam ne ci réew mi mu ngi yëngu képp ku nekk ci réew mi war nga ci koo yëg war nga cee bokk war nga cee def dara so am na solo pour képp koo xam ne mu ngi ci réew mi ngay yëkkatoo kàddu Gambien am carte am na solo sa kàddu am na solo parce que yow sa carte mooy sa kàddu pour wax li la neex lu la naxari li nga bëgg ak fan nga bëgg réew mi jëm kanam.
Democracy only works if people participate. It takes constant renewal among citizens to make democracy flourish.
ñàkk sànni karta dafay mel ne tamit dangay wàññi sa doole kon ku am karta pour war koo sànni juróomi at yu nekk pour wecci wala taxawal ku nga xam ne moom nga bëgg pour mu continuer di nekk njiiti réew mi loolu si sànni karta rek nga ko mun a amee kon képp ku am karta génnal nga dem sànni ji sa karta.
So we should try to know why are you voting? Why are you voting for this party and that party? We should know at least the basic concept why this party is trying to do.
So I'm urging all my following Gambians, also youth, to vote, in the upcoming election, for which I think will be a very relevant thing, I say. And if we are voting, we should not vote for, as he said, for a particular tribe.
In December 4th, Lambanko Nyanta Karte Fele, Hakilo di Bela Kadreke Sodila Minfanala, Mafa Fire Kuo, Kafodoron, Kobankola Kuo, Nyanta Tara World, Fayalonga Beta Kodi Kuo, Nusulamola Mimbelola Jata Kendeala, Fire Fenda Dala, Wafi Bantam, Bain Fana Fala, Corruption Omu Yankan Katol, the Fonga Fatala, Nusulamola Mimbela Nyaso Tala Fala, Sifatan Faso Manke Fendin, Temana Fajala, Adun Milka Tita Ninku.
It is your money. You pay taxes. But do you know how that money is being used?
So su fekkee ne sànni nga carte di nga mun a xam xaalis boobu noonu muy naama bi wala muy lempo bi fan la ko ku nga sànnil carte di dugal.
By participating in the electoral process as a voter, you get a say on how things are done for the next 5 years.
So sànni ji wut carte mel na ni joxoo kooku doole mel na ni joxoo kooku am su fa nekkee nag taxaw mun naa def xaalis bi naka sudut noonu te su boobaa yow mu nga xam ne sànni woo carte mel na ni amoo kàddu pour laajte fan lañ dugal xaalis boobu.
Is this government doing anything about corruption? How can we change this? If at all they don't care about it, anybody can just go and fill his pockets and just disappear, then your vote can make the difference. So people have to go and vote.
Your power is in your vote. Voting is an opportunity to maintain or change the leaders. Do you feel the current leaders are making a difference and should be given a chance to finish what they started?
Election is like a scorecard. I mean, you elect a leader and every 5 years you have an opportunity to decide whether to continue with the leader or to change the leadership based on whether or not they've delivered on their promises or the expectations of the population.
Do you feel there is a need to change direction?
If everybody votes their choice, if your choice loses, you will tell yourself, I've actually participated and the person I wanted has lost.
Voting gives you that chance.
But if he wins, it's like it empowers you. Like I've given this man the opportunity to do what I think he will be able to do or she will be able to do. So that's the importance of going to vote.
You see, you will create about 50,000 jobs. So when the halal lolu si bi Gambia bi fi pour gëna juroom fuka liggéey foko génné kañ nga sampa factory bi bé paré bé start liggéey so ku wax rek yow xolal ko bu baax nga déglu bu baax
Waja kutao kwenda sikoras fa mankojiye Bare ungarja sikoras manu tep skule Lopitane disi jumas Uma urutu bete na fabukanak janten Sikoras sembai nana sofe pumbe Urung jakan jak sofe korai manu jonen Votes kate iya jaku mumbeten Ngar votes kate iya manu poi jak Aya jebete rung
Genye Jigéen ku nekk nga am sa carte ka nga àndal nga ànd ak moom mu jaral la nag nga wax lu nekk lu baax li nga xam ci moom waaye pour saaga keneen parce que ñun dañu war a ànda ëllëg pour liggéey so for that reason ñun tamit am nañu responsibility boo xam ne pour wax lu doon dégga am nañu responsibility pour loo xam ne buñ tasaare loo xam ne du dégga lu ñu wóoru tamit buñ ko tasaare ba pare buñ bokk tamit di dem ci mbir yi ci social media di seetaan mbir yoo xam ne dafay indi xaajaloo ci réew mi
ki nga xam ne sax dafa dajee ci social media bi benn wax bu ñaaw masalan waru ko share lam war a njëkk a xeex mooy waru ko share ñaareel bi teg ci na ca comment pour digal kiy wax na soppi language am na génne su ñëpp di def nii rek mbir mi dana def. Without peace you cannot develop. Without peace there will be no food. Without peace there will be no work. Peace has to be there. So when we begin to fight each other because of somebody, or because our candidate did not win, or because we should win, they should lose. Elections come and go.
and we will still be here. So let us conduct it peacefully. You get up, go and cast your ballot, and then come home.
Alanda tunkanuntaga kabario kansagarene na honyo kanangenga kebega sirito osuni pane omakagaja osuni pane onamedaro otengarini karosumbogu ondaga ote omakagaja onsage kandi jamundo kheri osugani setani onalataya antale minagu antahirisagu karosunambogu onaga kochense di leminenta kedi.
Democracy only works if people participate. It takes constant renewal among citizens to make democracy flourish.
Because voting a president is different from voting your parliamentary member. Like they will serve you different functions. So that's why it's important to vote at all elections, even at local government elections, to make sure you vote for your councillors, to see that you're well represented. Every day we are crying about the development issues at our area councils. But what have we done about it as a people first? How many of us go out to vote for these councillors?
Kaboom! We get a youth them. Can I mention National Assembly election? You have to vote in the right one. The right members, they pass the laws, best remember, affecting your family members. Local government.
The majority of citizens do not vote. You're leaving the decision to limited number of people to determine how the country is going to be governed. And those limited number of people, if they are voting for a particular individual or party who are anti-democracy, then due to the lack of participation of citizens, then you will have a country that will move towards a direction that is non-democratic.
If you don't vote, someone else will make the decision for you.
Sanyaka votal Kena. Dafa minne votal nga Kena.
Okay.
Because yo feka danga tok ne man democracy bi amalu man njeriñ duma vote. Kon kun mu di tana su defé su nekku ci yoon tam mun nañu wax ne yow tam contribute nga ci tana ko.
Even with the issues of women, some women you see them following these politicians. Some of them don't go to vote. It's sad.
Mun na ñu use xalé bu nekk ñu jox la t-shirt pour nga advertise gaay di dugg ci moto yi di daanu loolu dañ ko ba patam school boys yi tamit xam naa ne Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education ñu am ité la pour seen xalé yi xam naa ne ñoom dañoo gën a contrôle xalé yi waaye xalé yi su ñibbee ci kër yi ñaan nañ tamit kilifa yi nañ contrôle xalé yi daal ñu dara motul ci élection bi di ànd ak campagne di jamante xeer yi ak yooyu di egg ci kaw moto bi di display yooyu daal man def ma dee ragaloo bi ko yàlla bu ko yàlla def kees mun naa daanu suñu xale yi des si so élection bi daal waajur bu nekk na yedda doomam bàyyi sa xel
lu waaji saare nenge mojimbedi konjaloye meng andi kinde joy kalabantejo konjaloye meng andi ko homboye maɓɓe moƴƴi fi leydi ndin konjaloye meng andi joy yurmine addoye ñamdu e ndiyam mitorike on yandi
being in the government, being in the decisions they take, being the institutions of the government, the judiciary, the legislation, and the executive. It's what they do daily in the machinery of government that represents the views and the aspirations of the masses.
niñ ko tëralee ci démocratie tey islam reject ko ndax mooy ñi dëkkee réew mi ñëpp dañoo am kàddu ci kan moo leen war a jiite ñi dëkkee réew mi ñëpp dañoo am kàddu ci naka lañ leen war a jiitoo ñi dëkkee réew mi yëpp dañoo war a am kàddu ci koom-koomi réew mi naka lañ ko war a partager naka lañ ko war a doxalee su fekkee loolu la islam daf ci kontaan lool te islam daf koy nangu.
If you give up on democracy, you're going to be locked in a cage, just like how Jammeh has done to us, and you will be crying to leave that cage, and the key is not with you.
jigéen ñi coono bu ñuy jànkuwanteel ci mbiri dem lopitaan mbiri dem noos waaye gis ku nga xam ne jigéen bu nga xam ne ñun suñ boor suñ dëkk dafay jógee beneen dëkk ñëw ba suñ dëkk Faas pour ñëw rek noos ñu eb leen ci sareet ñenn ñi boot seen doom yi sax pour ñëw lu ñuy wax monthly antenatal clinics yooyu noonu te loolu lu doy waar la kan moo mën a wecci loolu.
Voting is your chance to stand up for the issues you care about.
kan moo war a mën a gën a indi koom-koom ci réew mi kan moo war a mën a gën a indi alal ci réew mi kan moo war a mun a indi yokkute ci réew mi kan moo war a mun a indi yokkute ak ami nit ñi kon bu leen tayal bu leen tay it ci démocratie.
And this year election, as we saw, there are many candidates who want to join this election, but the competent, I don't know whether it's there or not. So it is left to us.
I believe it should be even part of our syllabus. In the curriculum, it should be part of there. Why to vote? Every Gambian have this problem. Why to vote? Majority of them, if you ask them, why are you voting? They will say, I'm voting because I like the color. I ask someone, why are you voting? He said, I love this color. What colors benefit us? What tribalism benefit us? This is negativeness. It's stupidity. We don't need it. It's not helpful at all.
Even my own uncle is one of the upcoming candidates. I, Modlamin Krang, I will only vote for him if I know that he is competent, to rule the Gambia.
Ketamit bultana njit nik sambokala. Yana joge bena area. O sa onkula o ni o yana boka ada o yana boka dine. Did it. Sanni ko hamne. Bana po rewmi. Bi rewmi mo gëna reuy lo gis.
So let us vote for competence, not tribal.
Democracy only works if people participate. It takes constant renewal among citizens to make democracy flourish.
These politicians will be going into their communities, campaigning, vote for me, I will do this, I will do this. They have to challenge them. They have to know really what they have to them. They have to put their interests first and forget about party lines or ethnicity and stuff. I think these are the solutions.
We are in a digital age, so everyone now is fixated on his smartphone. So people, in fact, when we are on dinner, having breakfast, lunch, when we are chatting with friends, every time we are just on our phones. So why not we bring that education or information regarding about elections, voting, everything, onto what they love using? Because people, they love using their phones.
Yeah.
They are with them all the time.
Yeah.
A new electoral cycle is fast approaching. The first election post-dictatorship in which Gambians now know what they do not want. What kind of Gambia do we want? Do we dare to dream for the Gambia we want? As we hope for a better Gambia, pertaining issues affecting our communities, from youth to women to people with disabilities, need to be addressed.
We can either go forward or go back to a similar system to what we came from. And I guess a lot of us already know what I'm talking about with the things that are happening. And we all want to go forward. We know the Gambia that we want. And these are things that we touch upon in this BULLEN TAAYE Si Democracy. We don't want to go back to where we came from.
I want to see the Gambia to be a very inclusive and participatory country or society wherein at least nobody will be discriminated against, especially persons with disabilities who have the same or equal fundamental rights and freedoms just like others.
Gambia is a very small country. I always say this, easy to develop, and we are getting a lot of money from outside, either by loan or some other things.
A Gambia where women have space, where what we represent in population numbers, what we represent in voting numbers, we also represent when it comes to representation.
The Gambian dream is to have a Gambia whereby you don't have to think of making it out there or sacrificing in the Mediterranean Sea to make it in other parts of the world.
Suma xalaat sumay nelaw ak suma yebo lu may xalaat mooy réew mi naka lañ ko mën a yóbbu ci kanam naka la suñ njaboot yi ëllëg mën a ñëw wutuñu ci liggéey bu metti bi su ko defee liggéey bi mu doon lu yomb ci ëllëg.
I think a lot of Gambians are living in a nightmare. A lot of Gambians don't wake up to a meal, having one decent meal, having electricity, having water, having access to education, having access to basic health. I think this, for me, let the Gambian dream start with not building huge skyscrapers or huge roads or multi-million-dollar airports. The Gambian dream is about every Gambian child should have access to education, healthcare, and a decent living. That is the starting point.
I am dreaming that one day the Gambia will be a city-state, that from Basse to Koina or from Basse to Kartong or whatever, that we all have all the amenities, all the facilities.
waruñoo tay si waxtaane affaire jàmm ak waxtaane affaire élection ak waxtaane njëriñi démocratie si ñëwee si wàllum élection waruñoo tay pour dem taxaw hardline bi pour vote waruñoo tay pour jiital suñu njaboot suñu mag ak suñu rakay pour ñu dem taxaw si line bi pour vote waaye tamit waruñoo tay suñu voté ba pare ñun ñëpp ñu mun a toog suñu biir kër ñu xaar IEC ñu announce.
We write poems from our hearts. But nations are built with our minds. So I dream big, speak to my brain, plant the seeds and pray for the rain. We claim the future and all its gains. This nation is tired, so let's flip a page. Set the stage. Prepare the patient and pass me the scalpel. Let me cut through the bullshit and expose the disease. This is a surgery, so I'll be precise. Peace is the pulse that keeps this nation alive, so keep it pumping before we all go to bed and never wake up again. Our people have jobs but cannot feed their families. The dream is a strong country, a strong people, a first world status on the global stage, the economy, health, education, agriculture, unity, social cohesion, peace, and the people progressing and prospering as individuals and as a nation. I pledge for peace. I pledge to vote. This is my dream for the Gambia. Keep dreaming. We will get there.
Yes, we can dream for a better Gambia. It can be achieved through meaningful positive engagements, voting, and peaceful elections based on agendas and issues, not on personalities.
Same with the presidential, no vote by emotion, vote them by credential.
BULLEN TAAYE SI DEMOCRACY. Democracy for you and me. Democracy machine your dollar free. Keep a connect a Gambian fee. Gambian just you and me. Sani kata mwelu nyu. Lunyu wafi. Sani kata mwelu nyu. Lunyu wafi. Sani kata mwelu nyu. Lunyu wafi. Lunyu wafi. Gana jikila tinyanya democracy. Democracy for you and me. In democracy lena semboti. Momo mubongo dingoti tenti. Gambian just you and me. Akate faye mwinyantoti. Amuila nyantoti. Kate faye mwinyantoti. Amuila nyantoti. Kate faye mwinyantoti. Amuila nyantoti.